Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Greg Michalowski, and today's date is August 6, 2014. I got a question about the euro sterling. In particular, Graham posed a question: is it a boy or a girl? That is the euro sterling bullish or bearish, and or do we not know just yet? So I thought I'd take a look at the euro sterling, and I start by taking a look at the weekly chart and moving my way all the way down to the 5-minute chart, because believe me, I'm going to have to. Anyway, taking a look at the weekly chart, it's always tempting to buy the low of anything that's been trending to the downside. But as you may or may not have learned in your career, that sometimes buying lows in a trending market doesn't really get you anywhere, especially if the market is trending to the downside. The market, anyone who bought the lows other than these people right here, in this small area through this whole move to the downside are losing money. So you have to be careful and understand that the weekly chart is showing bearishness. We are showing some support down here. However, the market tried to move below the bottom side trend line here on a number of different occasions, and each of the time the market failed. We actually closed below level here, but then I think the next day it failed, and I'm not sure if we've had any closes below that trend line. So there is a little bit of a hope for the bulls. Let's see what the other charts are showing. So let's take a look at the daily chart. And if we took a look at the daily chart, it looks very similar to the weekly chart in that we have a channel, and the market tried to move below the channel here and couldn't sustain that move, and then moved a little bit higher. Now we came up to a underside of a broken trend line here. This is the low here and a low here, and we came down to that level here and then broke through the level and then came to the underside. So this is kind of a key level on the top side that we're going to have to get above at the 80 level. Nice little round number there. So we know if the bulls are going to win, we're going to have to get above the 80 level. That's what we know. We also know that the last thing the market did here at the lows was hold the bottom side channel trend line. So that's good news. Now on the highs here, we know another thing, and that is that we failed on the break above the trend line here, and we failed to get through this trend line right here. So that is showing bearishness. So bullish here, but bearish here, so we're not really getting anywhere off the daily chart just yet either. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. And what do we see on the hourly chart? Well, we saw the market move sharply to the upside earlier this week, and then we saw the market move sharply to the downside over the last few trading days. Today is more of an up and down trade with data impacting the move to the upside here. Weaker manufacturing production data, industrial production data sent the sterling to the downside, the euro sterling to the upside here. But as you can see, we came right back down, and now we're moving a little bit higher. And anyway, let's just take a look at this chart and what it's saying. Here's a 50% retracement level of this move to the upside. Are we above it? Yes. Okay. Did we go below it? Yes. Did the market fail on the move below the 50% retracement in the last few hours? Yes. But we're back above it. We're also back above the 200-hour moving average, which comes in at 179.29. So we have 28.29.9 is the 200. So really, in the really close short term, looking at the hourly chart, I got to be a little bit more bullish here, only because we're above the 50%, only because we're above the 200-hour moving average. What I don't necessarily like is that the market did all this, came up and took out the high from mid-July, only to have the market fall down. Not a good thing there. And we know off the daily chart that the reason the market, when it fell down, we also fell back below the trend line there. So that's not good up here. That shows sellers up here. So a little bit bullish off the hourly chart. But you still got to prove to me that you can get above things like the 100-hour moving average up here at the 179.46 level before we start to move down below the 200-hour moving average and maybe head back below this trend line right here. So risk is probably through here. We need to get a break above the 200-bar moving average up there. So not much going there. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart, see if this tells us anything different. And what I see on the 5-minute chart, again, is the volatility from today's session. Move to the upside on the data, move back to the downside. The only thing I can say about this 5-minute chart is the market's held the 200-bar moving average for the most part down here when the market was coming down. We first held it, and then we fell a little bit below it, and then we tested it and tested it and tested it. And this little big bar here, I'll characterize it as a little big bar because it's really not that big. But this little move right here is bigger than the other bars, and so it's showing some desire to move higher here. And that move to the upside has taken the price back above the 200-hour moving average. We know that. We also are staying above the 100-bar moving average on the 5-minute chart, and we based against the 200-bar moving average on the 5-minute chart. So it's showing a little bit more bullishness. So I think, Graham, the answer is that we're a little bit bullish. Whether that's a boy or girl, I don't know, but we are a little bit bullish here. But if we move back below the 200-bar moving average on the 5-minute chart at 79.25, probably not get all excited about be all excited about the euro sterling anymore. So keep that in mind. If we're lucky and the market moves higher, then good for us. If the market moves below that level, then stop. I'll just get out because I'm not really all in love with what's going on from the charting perspective. My name is Greg Michalowski. If you like this video, be sure to favorite or like this YouTube page. Also, you can find out other information on our website at gregmikefx.com. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.